Hey, it's David back on BreezeFlippers, back in my shipping room. It's the end of the week. Sales haven't been, they haven't been great at all, to be honest with you. It's been a little slow on eBay. A tremendous week on DibDit. We had like 4 auctions this week, 2 comic auctions where I sold a bunch of Lady Death comics, and then we also had a media auction. So it has been a very, very busy week with selling on DibDit, and we had a great week there, but eBay's been a little slow. I also want to talk to you about what is maybe a concern. It could be something that could come up for you guys, for anybody, but I heard rumors that there was something going on with eBay's new payment policy where they're going to hold your payment until the shipment arrives. And I want to see what you know about it. I want to tell you what I've heard about it and what I've found out. So let's get into it. So like I said, not a crazy busy week. We're going to talk about the few things that are going on today. Not a lot. I got a sale ending midnight tonight. So I typically get a lot of last minute sales that'll come in late this evening. Most of the time they're from the West Coast. So, you know, shipping from here to there, it's always a challenge, expensive, but hey, that's part of it. So I'm hoping that kind of hits tonight and we finish out the week kind of strong. Again, not a big week. We've had a little over $300 in sales, but we had a killer week on DibDit. Did really great over there. I think $500 plus in the auctions that we've done. So we're going to have some more next week, some great auctions coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. But I want to get into the subject right away because here, first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that has subscribed to this channel. So if you're a subscriber right now, I really appreciate it. If you're just watching this channel, I appreciate you. And if you're watching this channel and you haven't subscribed, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. I love the community. I love being able to interact with you guys. I love it when you see the new videos come out. And 88% of the people that watch my videos aren't subscribers, which is typical, right? So, and some people don't like to subscribe, and I'm not twisting your arm, not begging. I'm just saying, if you don't mind, it'd be great. I really appreciate it if you wouldn't mind subscribing. So, so we're going to talk about some stuff. But first of all, I want to tell you how this came about, this subject came about. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and not all of them are about eBay. A lot of them are about comics. I love to watch the comic ones. There's a whole bunch of them. Mint Hunter, there's just like Paper Chase. There's all kinds of different ones I listen to. The Cover Price. Those guys do a great show on YouTube. So this is how I kind of learn about comics and see what's going on in the world of comics. So I do listen to one guy, and his name's Bry. It's Bry's Comics. I bought some comics from him past on Whatnot. Good guy. So I don't have any reason to not believe him, but he had a video that came out this week that said eBay is withholding his payments after 12 years of selling on eBay. So I did comment back when he said it. He said that basically they're withholding payment until the item shipped has arrived, and then they give the payment at that time. So now this is not an uncommon practice, guys. This is actually a practice that happens on a lot of the other sites. Mercari, you don't get paid until the buyer actually leaves you a review, or acknowledges that they got it and leaves you a review and closes out the sale. You don't get paid then even. On Whatnot or on District, you have to hit 1,000 sales before you get immediate payouts. So, which we're going to hit that probably this week or next. So it's exciting. But anyway, so this is not an uncommon practice. A lot of these companies will do that, and it's really, in some ways, it's to protect the buyer. In some ways, it kind of protects the buyer. It protects the company too from having to pay out something that, let's be honest, there's a lot of unscrupulous, sellers out there. You might sell something if you sell a big $1,000 item and never ship it, you got the money in the bank, it comes to you right away. So eBay does have some policies in place to protect themselves for that. Now, I did a lot of research. After he said that, I mentioned back, I said, I've been selling on eBay since 1997. So, I mean, I've been on eBay a long time. I've never had that issue. Even back then it was different, but even now, even when I started really selling just about, 3-4 years ago in 2021, I guess, we never had any payments held. We never had a problem with it. So, and had they done it then, I would understand it because I'm new. If you were new and you didn't have a track record for payments, I can understand that. That would make sense, right? But so I replied back and said I hadn't heard this yet. Well, his response back was, when what he said too, even in the video, was that he talked to eBay, he talked to customer service, and they said that this is a policy that's going to be rolling out soon. So what doesn't really get covered in the video is that this policy is already actually in place. but it doesn't affect right now, as far as I can tell, top sellers. So if you're in a top seller status, you probably haven't had this issue. If you're at above average, or above, what I think is called above average, I think it is, I'm not sure. If you're, if you're doing okay, I don't know if it affects you or not, but if you've had any kind of an issue, any issue at all with your account, you could be subject to this. Now, this is something that I understand from listening to a lot of different podcasts, reading some stuff too on the eBay site, that this is already in place for England and Germany. So, all the Safe Consumer Act, everything is probably going to eventually hit us. Now, I hope that eBay has the right sense of mind to say, look, if I've got a good track record, I ship within a day, I have all these different things, I'm top rated, I have no issues, no cases open, they wouldn't do that to me because I rely on that weekly check. Even if it's small, like this one, it's not big, but I do rely on it. So I did pull some articles, I did pull some stuff from customer service, and I read through them, and I read through a whole bunch of comments on their an eBay site, on their community pages. There were a lot of people that said their payments were being withheld. So, that just caused me to kind of look at it more, because if they did that, it would affect me, because let's be honest with you, the post office, the postal system sucks. They don't get our packages there when they say they do. So could you imagine shipping something that you did it within 24 hours, you get it out there, you ship it, and you're at the mercy of the postal system to get that to the right place, to get it there for one thing, and then to get it there on time is another thing, and then you'd have to wait until it was received and noted, and then you would maybe get your payment. I couldn't even imagine that. I think eBay would be taking a huge gamble, and that would be something that would might deter a lot of people from selling on eBay. Now, it might not bother you. If you're a big seller and you're just constantly churning money, you're full-time and all that, it probably wouldn't affect you. If you're getting weekly payouts or bi-weekly payouts or however you do it, it probably wouldn't affect you. If you were doing daily payouts, it might affect you. But, for a small seller like myself, that's part-time, trying to make, some extra money out of this, it could affect me, because like I don't carry any credit card debt in my business. I pay it with everything with a credit card, but I pay that off weekly. When that eBay check comes in, it pays off that card every week. So all the shipping and anything that I do, or any kind of materials, anything I have to do, I just keep paying that off. So I build up points, which is great. And you should think about that as well. If you don't do that now, you get the points. And then, so I get enough points, eventually it makes the payments one time or two times. So it's not a bad thing. But if I do that constantly, I want to make sure that money's coming in. So that's a kind of a tricky thing. Now, do we deal with it through like Dibdit, or through on Dibdit or District or whatnot, if you're a whatnot seller? Or if you're just a Mercari seller, you do that. I mean, it's part of it, but I didn't make enough money off of Mercari to worry about it. So when I sold something, it was just top of mind, forgot it, just done, okay? As soon as I get the money, great, it's there. Matter of fact, I left all the money in Mercari for the longest time. I would just basically buy more stuff to sell again. And a lot of it I'd sell on eBay. So I'd buy it cheap over in Mercari and I'd sell it over on eBay. So I just used it as a bank over there and just bought when I had money on it. So that's how I got a lot of hats and a lot of different things like that. So I never really even looked at that. But if you're relying on that money, that's a tough thing. So, when you start looking at it, I kind of hope that that's not the direction they're going. I did pull an article up. If you get your chance, you can go to valueaddedresource.net, and it is an e-commerce marketplace, news and analysis and commentary. Now, it is written by other users and people that do it, but they seem to be pretty well vetted. And person talk about it, that there are people saying that they got this, but it does go back to the terms and use for the UK and some different services that are provided by the EC UK. So the reality is the things that are happening a lot of times outside of the US is kind of like eBay's little test bed, right? We're going to test it over there and see how it works. The rules and regulations and restrictions in the EU are a lot more challenging than ours. We have a lot of rules and restrictions, but theirs are really a lot, which is why I use the international shipping program through eBay, because it's not worth it for me to mess with it. I'd rather just ship it to Illinois, it's done and it goes, right? But but sometimes I think they use this to kind of test things. Looks like right now they're testing the promotions. If you're doing promotions over there, they're doing this new thing now where it was previously that if someone entered your store through your link, right, that you were promoting, and they purchased that item within 30 days, you got charged, even if they bought something else or went a different direction, right? Or came back and clicked on it and bought that item, you're going to get charged for it. Now it's something along the line where basically, if they click through and they go into your store through a promotional item and they wait and they buy anything down the road, you're going to get charged that promotional fee. So is it a money grab? I don't know. Is it something they're testing? I think they're trialing it in Australia and the UK. So like a lot of times, like I said, that's their test bed. So if it happens and it comes back over here, you can read more about that on there. I think on their site, kind of look more at it. But I'll put the link to the value-added resource .net. Like I said, it really kind of lays it out. If you're a new or infrequent seller, if you're just somebody that sells once every, like I used to do, to be honest with you, before we started getting serious about selling, I'd sell 5 things a year. If they would have held my payment, I probably wouldn't even noticed it. I wouldn't even cared. So it's probably a good thing, right? I mean, it made sure that everybody was safe, everybody got what they wanted, and we moved on. And I didn't really care because I was just selling it, right? But you know, if you're infrequent or if you're new, I don't think anything wrong with that either. They also talked about anybody that had previously restricted or suspended sellers or high-priced items with unusual selling patterns. I kind of think maybe Bry had that. I'm wondering because he sells high-end comics, right? He sells some really big-end comics. I mean, if he sells something for us a couple $1,000s or $1,000, it might raise questions as far as not the item itself, but I mean, just to be able to make sure that you're sending it out and doing all the things you need to do. So, yeah, I mean, you know, and unfortunately too, a lot of times eBay, while we always say I've always had very good luck, knock on wood, with eBay customer service. They've always sided with me. They always taken care of me. But there are other people that haven't, right? So if you had an issue in the past where something happened that maybe wasn't your fault, but you still got kind of blamed for it, it still shows on your record. It could cause a lot of different things. So I don't know the whole story. I feel like we don't know everything, but it was a concern when he showed the letter and he talked about the fact that he called customer service and they said this was a policy that's going to be rolling out everywhere. Now, I also know that a lot of times customer service will tell you things that maybe not 100% correct, right? So I've also had some of them tell me some things I'll be like, okay, that's all you can do, right? So I think that could be part of it. I don't know. So anyway, you make a decision for yourself, but please comment, let me know. What did you hear? Have you heard anything? Have you been a victim of this? Well, a victim. Have you been hit with it? Has anything like that happened with you with eBay? And you know, be honest. If your account was, if you had a problem on your account, you know, let people know that. All right. I'd rather say, like I said, I'm top seller. I 100% standing. I have 100% feedback. I'm happy. I had a problem this weekend though. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Didn't have a problem, but I'll teach you a little lesson here in a second. But if you've had something like that happen, let me know. I want to hear about it. Let's let the community know. And if it's something that is coming down the road, you know, I think we all need to be prepared for it, right? Because I don't want to be messing with it. I hope that it doesn't do that. I'm not going to leave eBay because I still enjoy what I do. I enjoy the heck out of selling on eBay. I really do. I enjoy the live auctions, but I really enjoy selling stuff on eBay just because I love connecting buyers and, you know, connecting buyers with items that they wouldn't otherwise find. So it's a lot of fun for me. So anyway, I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. And so let's talk a little bit about what sold last week. So like I said, not a great week, a little over 300 sales or $300 in sales and $307. And we had a total of 11 items. So not the greatest ASP in the world either. You're about to find that out too. The first thing we sold, and I'll pop these two up because these came after my midweek video. So I'll pop these two up on the screen. The first thing that sold was a Barbie magnetic wooden dress up doll outfits, accessories. It's from Mattel. It was new sealed. Picked it up at a garage sale. I got to put some of that video out because I think I have that one. Picked it up at a garage sale. It was stuffed in a box. They had all kinds of stuff out. And I started grabbing up stuff. Had a sealed Estes model rocket in there. I think I showed that a while back that sold. This was in there. It was stuffed under stuff. So I started grabbing it all and grabbed a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't pay very much for any of it. I think I paid $5 for everything. And one of them like a couple vintage toys. So it was it was a good garage sale. It was one of those ones happy with, but that sat there for a while, but it did sell. Ended up getting $18.99, and that went out free shipping. The next thing I sold, and I have a bunch of these left, guys. I got 21 of them. So if you need a patriotic hat for 4th of July, please go to my store and buy one of these hats. I'll pop it up on the screen. I've got 21 of them still. It was one of those ones that I bought on Mercari with some of the Mercari money. I didn't pay very much for them. It was a big bundle of hats, and I just bought them all. So I thought, well, you know, they'll sell, and it does sell eventually. It sells. I sell like one a month every once in a while, it seems like. But it is a Stars and Stripes red, white, and blue hat. It's a baseball hat, and it's a nice little hat actually. You'll see the picture, but blue and white stars, red and white stripes on the bill. Cool hat. Next thing I sold, and this is actually part of that same buy. These are U.S. Army veteran hats. This person bought 2 of them. Okay, so I got 1 left now. These are new with tags. And again, I bought this off of Mercari. Made a pretty good deal on it. Actually ended up getting $11.19 each. So $22.38 for a total with $6.98 shipping. So that's going to go out. Next thing I sold, and this has been in there. This is part of the bad buy I think I talked about a while back. I bought some stuff from a kind of a promotional company, a sports company, but they had a whole bunch of different things in there that I bought this like mystery box. It's like $130. I got a ton of crap in there. Some of it was just crap, to be honest with you. Some of it was good. Some of it sold right away. Some of it, like this, has been sitting in my inventory forever. These are paper coasters. Now, while paper coasters are all the rage and popular, they are actually very popular because when we go buying when we go to market in Atlanta in January, we always see them. So we see a lot of these different ones. People do the paper crap. They can throw them away, keep them. They recycle. They're good. So anyway, this has been in my inventory for eons. It finally sold. $5.99, $4.99 shipping. I'm very happy that it's going. Last and least, this is another one of those things, guys, where I said I'm going to get rid of them, and I haven't had time to get rid of them. A Hot Wheel. Yeah, this is a Hot Wheel. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not going to take it out of the package, but it is apparently Creature Screecher 1959 Cadillac Eldorado. It's vintage. It is old. I'm not sure. 1989. I mean, it's old. It's not a red line or anything, but it is kind of cool looking. I mean, it is interesting, right? So made a whopping $3.49 off that with $4.99 shipping. So it'll ship in I'll put it in a little box thing, and it'll ship safely, and not in a box, probably put it inside of one of these little things I keep up here. I have to find them. I ship these little cars, the singles, if I have one. I ship them in these little paper things here. I'll open it up and let you see it. Sorry for the crinkling sound. This is actually a jewelry shipping item, so you can actually ship these, but when you do is you just take them. I was going to use my teeth to open that, but I don't want to make anybody weird out. You take these little things, and it's kind of handy. Honestly, if you ship jewelry or anything like that, so you makes a little pouch. You just pop in the side, and then you pop in the other side, and it becomes a nice little hard shell. And you put the car in there and lock it down, and it's good as safe. It gets shipped safely and delivered safely. So I've never had a problem yet. So hopefully that'll be, easy ships tonight. I'm going to be a guest on a podcast tonight. Now, if you haven't had a chance, if you go look up Finders Flippers Resell Podcast, check those guys out. That's the one I'm going to be on tonight. Just going to be stopping in. There's their 300th subscriber live. They're going to be doing a live episode. So go check it out. By the time this comes out, you have to check it out after it's been done. So, but anyway, if you do get a chance to go to the Nashville Flippers, you go check them out. I was on their podcast a week ago, so that was the one I said I was going to be on. I was really excited about being on that one as well. So great group of guys. All these guys are. This whole community is a lot of fun, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed this. Like I said, I enjoy talking with you guys, even though I'm just talking to you. But I do get interactions from you guys, and I really enjoy that. And You know, I like to hear from it. Even some of the ones that are not nice, you know, hey, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and I appreciate that too. So I'm all about free speech, and that's what I served in the military for, to protect that free speech. So that's what we do. But yeah, guys, I want to know about what issues you're having with the payments. I'm just curious. You know, tell me if you've had any issues or any problems. Like to see what's going to happen, and I'm really hoping that it's not something that's going to roll out, because I think, like I said, it'll affect a lot of smaller sellers like myself that rely on that weekly payout from eBay. So, and you know, we haven't had a bad week to the sense where we haven't got any payment. It's always been enough to cover the what we do in shipping and all that stuff. So let's hope and pray that that's not what's going to happen. So anyway, that's what's going on with me. I hope your week is going to be great. I hope your week was great and your weekend was great. If you didn't lay pavers this weekend, you probably had a great weekend. I laid 12 by 12 pavers in a 12 by 12 foot area with pavers that were like 16 by 16. They were huge pavers, very heavy. So thank God my neighbor was able to help me, and we got that done in about 3 or 4 hours, but it was a lot of work. So I'm a little tired. I slept pretty good last night, so it was a long day yesterday. But so I'm looking forward to this week, kind of see some things, and hopefully we'll pick up some sales. Got a lot of sales coming up on Dibdit. So if you get a chance, dibdit.com, come check us out. Use BreezeFlips. You can get $5 off your first $10 purchase. I'm going to be doing some more Lady Death comics on Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Central. So, and then Monday we're having a video game auction at 7 p.m. Central. We're having it on 7 p.m. Central. So we're doing a video game auction. We're going to be selling off some different video games. And then I might be doing another media auction next Friday. So it's a lot of fun. Like I said, we're trying to do as many as we can, get some good sales in there, moving a lot of inventory, cleaning out some stuff. It's been great. So like I said, I hope you have a great week, guys. I'm David Beckham, BreezeFlippers. We'll see you.